Speaking Thoughts Out Loud.
Who said that?
Created by Jamel Jermaine.
I'm gonna apologize in advance here because I feel like I'm gonna piss some people off, and I'm not trying to piss anybody off. This is really just truly how I feel. So if you feel differently, let me know. When we're talking about a child that has a black father and a white mother, and then they have these terrible, not always, but some of them have like terrible perspectives on the world and race, I don't blame the white mother. And I'm gonna tell you why. When you're raising that kid, when a black man and a white woman are raising that kid, there's only one black person in the room, and it's not her. It's as a black man, it is your responsibility to teach your child about blackness. And you know what? What we don't talk about enough is a lot of black men, not all, but a lot of black men that primarily date white women, they're doing it to escape their own negative stereotypes about blackness. They are trying to increase their proximity to whiteness to feel better about what they are. And when that person and a white person ends up raising a black child, I expect nothing more than fucking chaos. Is her white mom supposed to explain to her shit about race? Her white mom is supposed to do that, or is that is that your responsibility as a black man? Is that your responsibility? And we don't. I feel like we don't talk about that enough in the black community. We want to talk about mixed kids with white moms. We don't talk about the black men that be dating these white girls and that be marrying these white girls. And I got no problem. I have no problem with a black man dating white girls. No problem. But just know that if you have a child with a white woman, it is your responsibility to show that child what blackness is. And if you don't have a positive, good perspective of what blackness is, your child would not.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What it do, my people? Now, I gotta talk about it. I gotta put my 2 cents in on this, because I am one of those what they consider black man that have dated outside of his race. All right, and who do have a biracial child, a son, teenager, 13 years old. Love my son with every breath in my body. All right, I myself, like I said, I've dated outside my race. I've been there, done that, experienced it. You know what I'm saying? And I can honestly speak on it, But I was never one of those kind of brothers that had some self-hate issues, because first off, I lost my virginity to a black girl, back in the early days, long before I even dated outside my race. I dealt with black women, my so-called black experience. Was never embarrassed of it. And I know what it is. Now, years later on, all right? Because I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, born and raised. So, growing up there, I've grown up around blacks. That was, my neighborhood. I was surrounded, So, that was never a thing of me being embarrassed of, my culture or who I am. Long story short, I was a traveling door-to-door salesman, all right? So that's how I ended up getting out of Louisiana, okay? Went to a few places, and then we stopped in Idaho. Boom, all right? So that's where it started, all right? I quit doing that door-to-door crap, stayed out there in Idaho, created a whole new life from, out of scratch, from nothing. And that's where my experience came in at, all right? So as for me, it was just, it was my surroundings, and it was what it was, I never downgraded black women, even when I was involved and dated white women, Hell, to be honest with you, shit, Yeah, I still really couldn't keep myself away from black women. To be honest with you, to be 1 million with you, you feel what I'm saying? Like straight up, regardless if they was brown skinned sisters or biracial sisters, you know what I mean? It's like I still found myself in the mix. All right, speed it up. All right, having my first kid, my first and only child. All right, my baby mom's Bosnian. Okay, all right. It was one of the things where it was like unexpected, but it is what it is. Okay, I love my child. I love him. All right. So me personally, I never had a self-hate issue. That's me personally. I can't speak on all the other brothers. I can't speak on all other brothers. I can only just speak for myself. All right. I myself never had that problem. I myself never had a self-hate issue because I just wanted to escape my blackness. Nah, not for me. You feel me? Not for me. But unfortunately, me and my baby moms, we not together. You know what I mean? I live in one state. She live in a whole nother state. And, it was one of those things. You know what I mean? So technically, I'm not in the house, but I am there, if that makes sense. You feel me? So, men, regardless of the situation, it is our responsibility to teach our kids to embrace, to have pride in who they are. All right? Can't escape that. We have to put our kids up on game. When I do talk to my son, I try to, plant that seed in them to let them know, like, hey, don't ever be embarrassed of who you are. You are a part of myself and your mom. It is what it is. Don't you ever be embarrassed. I try to put my son up on game to prepare him for this cruelty of the world, because we all know how cruel this world can be. Okay? And especially when it comes to being what they consider biracial mixed child. All right? Because they do have a lot on their hands that they do have to juggle. It's different with them, It's different with them than a child having both parents that are both from the same ethnicity group. It's a lot different, all right? My daddy's black, my mother's black, you know what I mean? So, even though my daddy was never involved in my life, that's a whole nother damn story, all right? But, it was never no issues because I understood, my blackness, as for the biracial kids, we have to install that in them because they are going to grow up and have what they considered a identity crisis, but under the same breath, under the same notion. When you look at my son, you're looking at me. So he's just a light-skinned version of me. But he is still a little black boy. Well, he ain't little no more. He's a young man, We have to install that in our kids. We have to let them know that when it comes to this right here in our culture, that we are diverse. It's more to us versus what society wants to put out and promote. saying that, well, this is black culture, you know, they are ghetto, they're this and they're that. And it's like, no, like we are diverse. It's like you only, you know, pointing out just one little slice of it. It's like we got all these other sides to us. That not all black people are ghetto. Not all black people are ignorant. You know what I mean? So we gotta make sure that we solidify that, you know, to let our kids know. Because I'll be damned if my child grew up confused. Man, it is what it is. I'm not embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate myself. I still gravitate to black women. I'm still attracted to black women. I still have a desire for black women, you know. But I still see the beauty of all women, because you do have beautiful women in all groups, you know. But I understand that no one could fully understand the struggle except for a black woman. Black women is the only ones that can understand our struggle as a group. For the parents out there that have biracial kids, it's a must. It's a must that we teach our kids to never be ashamed of who they are, never to be embarrassed of who they are, to embrace who they are. Because let's be honest, you know, even though, you know, every biracial kid is different. Every biracial kid have a different story. You know, you have biracial kids that hate their blackness. You know, hate it with a passion. You know, and you have other biracial kids that embrace their blackness. They scream them, hey, I'm black, all day with pride. Like, hey, this is what it is. Yeah, I know my mom or my dad's white or whatever the case may be. You know, but they embrace that. But it's our job as the parent to enforce that in them. Don't ever be embarrassed to who you are. To any biracial kid out there, right? Or someone that's biracial out there that's probably, you know, watching this video. Don't ever be embarrassed to who you are. Take pride in your blackness. Because the world see you, when the world sees you, when they view you, they're not going to say, oh, well, you know, well, they was born white. Or, you know, whatever, you know, or Asian or, you know, Hispanic or whatever the case, you know what I mean? But when they see you, when they look at you, they see those features, right? Now, this not knocking the biracial kids that don't have, you know, they black features. Because you do have biracial kids out there that's close more to white than anything. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh damn, you got those. You know, they are out there. So we got to keep that in mind too. We have to keep that in mind too, all right? Because let's be honest, society been telling us throughout generations, through their eyes, and how they view people that look like me. You know, they looked at us as less, as animals, no human, you know, not being human. You know, so we have to break away from what we was programmed to believe. Because we are powerful people. There is pride being what they consider black. Right? So take pride in it. Don't ever be embarrassed. I love you. Alright? We black folks, baby. That's just how it is. That is how it is. Hey! That is how it is. You feel what I'm saying? Hey. So, embrace that. Don't ever be embarrassed. Alright? Be proud of who you are from both sides of your parents. Alright? Because it is what it is. You didn't ask to be here. Both of your parents made you. So, don't ever be embarrassed. Alright? Alright? I hope that was good enough. Alright? I just had to put my 2 cents in on this. And, you know, let it be known. Alright? Just because a brother, you know, then dated outside of his race, do not mean that brother was dealing with some self-hate issues. I'm saying that because I'm one of those brothers. I know it'd probably be rare, but I am one of those brothers. It was never a struggle or a self-hate with me when I've dated outside my race. It was what it was. It was the environment I was in. Alright. With that being said, blessings to y'all. I love you. And I digress.
Speaking Thoughts Out Loud.
Who said that?
Created by Jamel Jermaine.
Hey, do me a favor real quick. Like and subscribe so you can keep up with what's next. Come on, man. Think. Thought you just gonna slide up out here without liking and subscribing.